everyone, and welcome back. So today, of course, today is like the shadow period, or the starting period into the new moon in Gemini, which is always powerfully amazing. So as usual, I'm actually going to go ahead and pull from the I Ching deck, as well as pull out the new moon in Gemini, so that way we can kind of see what to look forward to, what that means, what we can do, what we can't do, all the good jazz, right? And this is just going to be for the weekend essentially, because the new moon is over the weekend as well. So 2 birds, 1 stone, anyone says? 2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, so Spirit, what do you have for the collective for us here for this weekend and new moon? We have 35 for the collective. So let's go ahead and pull out our deck book. Ready? Yes. So 35 is progress. Above fire, below earth. Fire over the earth, a leader arises. Sunrise brings the new day, and progress can be made as the light increases. In the same way, an undertaking can profit from the emergence of a new leader who shines light on the dark places. This may be a person whose influence endures as the sun reigns in perpetuity, or it may be as fleeting as a shooting star that flames across the sky and is gone. Seize the opportunity to advance. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's time to shine, baby. It's time to recognize your power, recognize your energy, and lead in that. Lead your life in that, possibly inspire and lead others in that. Seize the opportunity to be seen. Seize the opportunity to show who you are in your true, authentic self, and allow that to reign supreme in your life. That is where the true inner strength comes from. That is where the true acknowledgement and light comes from as well. So, keeping that all in mind, keeping that all in progress of restitude. 35. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and pull from the Moonology. Not necessarily pull, I'm actually just going to go ahead and read from the new moon in Gemini, and then we can kind of get deeper into the reading and what that entails itself. Okay, pull that up. 4th, 3rd. Okay, communication is key. So it says a successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, which is communication. Juna? What are you doing? Come on. Sit and relax, okay? Because I don't know what you're doing. Thank you, girl. It says... this is about a start of a new cycle for communicating with the person that may be at the center of an issue, a situation, or an ongoing circumstance that you may be having, or just communication period of what you feel like needs to be said and relate to the other person. Okay, it says talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're thinking about, asking about, wondering about, whatever. However, if you cannot talk to the person just due to your own safety, just due to your own capacity at this moment in time, or anything of that sort, you would want to journal to yourself. Journaling to yourself is also a way of communicating what is going on, what the outcome you want to happen, or just journaling your daily life. That allows a little bit more deeper meditation with self, which again is just a conversation to clear out your mind, to clear out the clutter and allow things to just kind of flow a little bit more smoothly. And when things flow smoothly, we're able to have our thoughts and our feelings in balance. And at this moment in time, especially when you do plan on communicating something with someone, you want to make sure that you are in balance in some sort of way, right? In some sort of standing. It says, if the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or a neighbor, there's a new start coming. A time to wipe the slate clean and start over. It says this also may suggest that you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. Okay, so again, either way it goes, communication needs to happen at this moment in time. Something needs to be said. You need to speak up. You need to be bold about it. You need to be sure about it. And if you cannot speak up right now to the person outwardly, you need to speak up inwardly. Either way, communication is the only solution, and that is also the only solution to a successful relationship is communication, right? The affirmation is write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. And that is also a way to make sure that if you feel like you're not prioritizing these people, have a conversation to make sure that you guys can fit some time into each of you guys' schedule or see exactly why there is a lack. Also, if you aren't prioritizing, why do you feel like this person is not necessarily low on your list, but not a necessary part in your life that you need to think about? So write that list for the people that you love the most, yourself included, and then go from there. Additional meanings is tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you, and read more books. Okay? It says, oh, geez Louise, pumpkin and cheese, sorry. One thing to be aware of is that this card may also indicate being mentally scattered. So daily meditations will help to unscramble cross wires in your brain, which is why they're saying you're all in your head and not in your heart, because right now you're trying to be too logical about the situation, which is probably why you're not approaching it, because maybe your feelings are taking a back step, or you are vice versa, where your feelings are taking the forefront, and you're like, I just gotta go, but you're not thinking logically about the situation, like, is this the right time for me even to bring this discussion up, especially if my emotions are so high? Would I be able to receive what they're going to say to me as well? So all those things go into it, and meditation, again, is communication with self, and that allows you to trust and deepen your intuition with everything that's going to happen for with you, okay? For and with you. Okay? Let's go ahead and see what the weekend holds for us. Together as a collective, what we can look forward to, what we can look out for, all the good things of that sort. You know what's crazy is I did this today and then I had a nip slip on here, and you guys know I do these live, so it was just like can't even find the video because I was still gonna post it because I don't give it's a nip slip, baby, it's titties. But Instagram said, baby, that video's gone. It's a nip slip, it's titties. So yeah. So I did that, and I was like, at least I can keep it. No. Alrighty. So Spirit, what do you have for us as a collective this weekend? Suffering in silence. This is something that we don't want to do. We do not want to suffer in silence, and it definitely gets suffering in silence if we're not able to communicate, because we're silencing our own voice, we're silencing our own feelings, or we're silencing our own everything. So suffering in silence, which is why communication is key, which is why we need to speak up at this moment and or release it, right? Okay? Spirit, anything else for this weekend? Is there anything else for this weekend? Ooh. Thank you. It's like cards keep wanting to come out, and that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. We don't need all those cards. Spirit, just give me what I need to know for this weekend. There we go. What do I need to know for this weekend? But I mean, they know me. Just give it to me. Anything else, Spirit? Speak now. Anything else, Spirit? Speak now. Anything else, Spirit? Speak now. Okay, there we go, baby. So I was like, that's a lot of cards. It's a lot of cards. We have positive movement forward. So this is also a physical card. This one was a mental card. So suffering in silence mentally, which again, you're all in your head and not in your heart enough, which means you are trying to be too logical. It has to be structured this way. It has to be set this way. It's going to be done this way. It has to be, you're trying to be too much, especially when you are involving another person whose actions, intentions, thoughts, all of that you cannot control. You cannot decipher. You cannot all of that. So you're trying to be so much in here, and that's too much in your head, and that's making you overthink things, over conceptualize all of this stuff, right? Instead of just allowing yourself to have the balance of what am I feeling and what's the actual situation that's currently happening at this moment, and what can I do, right? So we want to make sure that we have positive movement forward. And the only way to have positive movement forward, not the only way, but a good way to have positive movement forward is to recognize, do I want to move forward, right? And if I want to move forward, I need to be more in my heart, and with my heart, that allows me to be more compassionate, that allows me to be more vulnerable with not only sharing the information, my feelings, and being more open, but it also allows me to receive more. So receive the other side of the conversation, because I'm not having it with myself. Even if I'm journaling, it's still a communication with self, right? It's the other side of the conversation of your inner dialogue with your outer dialogue as well. So with the heart, and it's saying, don't be all in your heart, don't be all in your head, a little bit in your heart. Are you open enough for this conversation? Are you prepared enough? Do you have the moment, and you want to have that physical, right? Your physical has to be prepared, because sometimes it hits us physically, and then emotions hit, and then the mental hit, and then it stays there physically. So positive movement forward, especially in the physical. So try some exercise, try some yoga, try some meditating. So that way, again, with this new moon, the clean slate, the potential, our dreams, the communication, us recognizing what we can do for this relationship and this situation. We want to move positive, no matter if we're going to dive into the situation head first, take a little bit of our time, or we're going to remove ourselves from the situation. We still want to make sure that it's positive and not moving forward in silence, which is why they gave us the heart chakra, right? Getting into our heart. And I love to read these. Let me go ahead and pull out the book so I can go ahead and read the heart chakra, which is our fourth, which is the green card as well. The color is green. The sound is yam. The element is air. So again, seeing things from a higher perspective, seeing things that are a little bit different. And with air energy, they gather all their information as well. They're a little bit more logical. We're thinking about air signs. Don't think of them that way. Think of them as they are. Don't think about the person that fucked you over as air sign. The air signs are a lot more logical. They are able to gather information. They're very intuitive. They're able to see things from a higher perspective, right? And with us also being in Gemini season, the new moon in Gemini, it's going to be a lot of air energy going around as well. Of course, there's like shadow period for retrograde and Pluto and all these things, yes. But right now, at this moment for the new moon in Gemini, there's a lot of air. So there is a lot of why we don't want to be so in our head, and we want to dive into that heart so that we can aerate the place as well. The gland is the thymus, and the keywords are I love. I love this person. I love my mindset. I love my life. I love the way that I communicate. I love that I'm able to listen to people that communicate with me. I love. And that way you are able to, again, receive, which is why they want us to create that list of the people that we love the most, and are we prioritizing them? And if we're not, that is why a conversation is needed to be had, so that we can dive deeper into that. It literally is parallel to the heart, and it represents unconditional love, compassion, and harmony, and relationships and healing. Right? So it takes all that in, and it's the link between the mind, body, and soul, which again, that balance of making sure we're not too much over here and not enough over there. It says it may take a while to balance, however, just allow yourself the time and the energy to get through that and to flow freely, which is why physically we want to continue to have that positive movement forward, because it is daunting on us in that way, that mentally, and sometimes our physical can affect our mental and vice versa. Right? So by loving yourself and others, as well as learning forgiveness, you'll become more attuned with the spirit. Okay? So when you are more in tune with the spirit, again, you are able to come and present yourself in a situation that is authentically you, and you're loving that they are also authentically themselves as well. The next one that we have is the universe. Okay, the universe is also the world card in the major arcana, which again is the end of something. If the new beginning is starting, that means we're also having to end something as well. This is the accumulation of our results, of our karma, of our thinking, of our actions, of our interactions. It is all of that coming into the forefront of our minds, and in restitute of that. So the universe is saying, listen to the universe as well. Right? Listen to what it's saying. Listen to how it makes you feel. The universe is the environment in which you are currently living and cultivating in. right? So allowing yourself to be more in tune with that lines back into being in balance, that meditation, that yoga, that centering yourself, that being prepared and ready, right? Because with the end of something in this new beginning, it is the accumulation of something. And we want to make sure that we are physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to reap what we have sown, okay? In all aspects of thinking, in all aspects, in all ways. Beautiful. That's me. Oh my goodness. So the next card that we have is Wisdom in the Major Arcana card. That is the Hierophant, right? So this is possibly... Oh, bless me. That water went down good. With the Hierophant, it is about being more in tune with yourself, but also possibly abandoning religious ideas, abandoning what you thought previously worked before, again, getting out of that mindset and thinking more of what can I enlighten myself with? What can I advance myself in? What can I dive deeper into, right? So that way when I am going out there and I am sharing a message, I am speaking up, I am being clear, and I do have like this command over myself, my power, my environment, and I'm going out there with wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge and intellect from lessons learned and then applying it to your life, right? Whereas intellect and knowledge is just, I have this information, but I'm not using it. Wisdom is, I have this information and now I'm applying it and now I am using it, right? Which kind of ties into the universe, which is the world, the end of something, the end of a cycle, the achievement of something, the success in something. It's the end result. And with wisdom coming in, it's basically saying, use what you have learned, use what you have gone through to not only communicate with people and yourself, but to heal your heart, to heal what is going on, so that way you continuously physically and mentally have a positive movement forward. We have obstacles and challenges. This is in the purple border, so that's spiritual. So spiritually, again, with that heart chakra, it is about a balance of our mind, body, and soul. So I want to make sure that while we are dealing with this, again, we are going deeper into ourselves. Because if we are facing obstacles and challenges, and even if we're looking at the orbs around it, right, it is a way of telling us that we always have our guides, we always have our ancestors, we always have the universe and people that are guiding us and showing us the light. And even if we're looking at this light right here, this aura and that essence of what is under and what's going forward, that is our light emanating, right, and showing that into us. So we have to remember that even through obstacles and challenges, everything that we need to get through this, over this, to jump it, to have the stamina to jump over this broken bridge, we are still able to continue and move forward with this positive movement. The rocky waters, the shaky waves. Right now, Spirit is saying communication, again, is key. And keys open doors. Keys unlock cars. Keys unlock windows, and depending on where you at. So keys are able to unlock so many things and so many potentials for us, and ideas and concepts and all of this. So we want to make sure that if communication is key, right, if we're thinking about it, the answer key, when you're studying for something, wisdom, lessons learned. So Spirit is saying taking this, right? Think about past relationships, maybe where you were possibly in this situation before, or past situations with yourself. Just allow yourself that, right? Either way, a conversation needs to be had. Journal if you need to, email, text, all of that. But communication is going to allow you to speak and them to speak, and that allows yourself to heal as well. Let's go ahead. Let's see how I'm doing on time first. It's taking me forever and a day. I'm so sorry. So let's go ahead and get into a little bit of love for the weekend. We'll do romantic and platonic love, since it seems like we are dealing with some, and I don't even think it's only personal relationships. I just think it's also Spirit is saying setting boundaries in the workplace, right? Being mindful of how and where you're spending your time at, right? It's also about not just being vocal in that point, but being vocal in the sense of knowing what you love and going forward and after it, right? Understanding exactly how can I be my truest self in everything that I do and in every aspect that I am, right? Because if I'm suffering in silence, it means I'm currently in a situation where I cannot speak up truly how I want to. If I am dealing with obstacles and challenges in my spiritual, that means maybe I don't have as close of a connection with my in self and or my ancestors that are here to help and walk with me and talk with me. Maybe there's some break or some gap where they're trying to communicate with me, but I'm not hearing them, or I'm trying to communicate with them, and then it's this disconnect. So it's more than just physical relationships, but there is something that needs tending to. There is something where you need to be back into balance, and communication is going to help with that. Recognizing what you love and what your desires are going to help you with that, so that way you can pinpoint how to be more practical with what you want to do and what you want to set out with, and having a plan set up and for your desires and for your motives, and allowing your intentions to be in balance with your actions, right? Because intentions only matter to the people that are feeling them, right? And that are cultivating them. But the actions is the end result of that, and that's what everybody else is able to see and feel. So we want to make sure, again, that in everything that we do, we're being ourselves. And if we are feeling this type of way, and Spirit is saying just get back in balance, and the way to get in balance is communicating, journaling, and meditating, and stretching our body and doing yoga, which is also body language. If we're using our body language when we're feeling a certain type of way, our faces say it, or we're like, or block ourselves off. We want to make sure, again, that we are always being our true, authentic self, and that we're not suffering in silence in any type of way. And I've definitely needed that, especially for the podcast I posted, because it's just like, it's not anybody's responsibility to communicate what's going on. It's always going to be my responsibility, and that comes with taking accountability as well. Okay, let's get into this love, okay? Let's hear what's going on for the collective for love. For love this weekend. All right, anything else, Spirit, for love this weekend? Anything else, Spirit, for love this weekend? Yes, Spirit. Okay. Oh, crystal. Okay. So we have big dick energy. Big dick energy. I love BDE. Okay? That means, again, it is your time to show your true, authentic self. It is time for you to place yourself out there. What did the Proverbs say? It is time for you to seize this opportunity of being seen, of being heard, of being noticed, and not in a way of just like, oh, like, let's look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them, and let's consume them and overconsume them in overconsumption. No, in a way of like, I have been hiding myself. I have been suffering in silence. I have to do certain things here and certain things there, or I have to tweak it, and certain things where you're just like, it's too much and I'm done. Big dick energy, when they walk in the room, you know who it is. They ain't gotta say nothing. It's their je ne sais quoi, right? And big dick energy, I say it's, I was telling my sister last night when I gave them a reading, I feel like radiating. When you are radiating, it is a light that everybody can see and that they're attracted to, right? That is what big dick energy is. However, your essence is what makes people stay and stick around you, right? Radiating People are drawn to that. Now, whether they see it negatively or positively is their own perception within their own conceptualization of their mind and their environment. However, the essence is what makes people stay. So big dick energy, it's time for you to radiate. It's time for you to show your light. It's time for you to show your power. It's time for you to show your knowledge. It's time for you to share your wisdom. It's time for you to share that funny ass joke that you've been telling yourself over and over again. We tired of hearing it. Go share it with somebody else, right? So big dick energy. It is that time, especially within romance. Confidence is great. Confidence is powerful, because then that also leads to other people that are confident approaching you in a way that they acknowledge you, respect you, and notice you in a way that's like, I don't want to over consume you just to consume you, because there will be fuckers that will sneak in. There's always going to be somebody that's going to try to sneak in. Not saying that, but when you have big dick energy, when they say real recognize real, big dick recognize big dick. And when we pull into the radiating of the big dick, we also want to pull into the essence of ourselves. So that's where shadow work needed comes in. Because again, that essence is what makes people stay. And that essence comes when we do our shadow work. With shadow work, it means we have to talk to ourselves. We have to communicate with ourselves. Why does this hurt? Why do I do this? What's going on? All these questions, all of this deeper incitement, all of this accountability, all of this growth, all of this acknowledgement, all of this apologizing, forgiveness, grace, all of that goes into shadow work, right? And that is what pulls into your essence. That's what pulls into, damn, I want to slowly sip from this person's cup, while also pouring into it at the same time. You ever drink from something and poured something into your cup, but you're drinking from it? That shit is amazing. And that's pretty much what we're saying is with romances. Right now, just do shadow work, because it is needed, but still do not dim your light while you're doing that. Continuously show yourself. When you are doing that, it's also showing that I'm ready to be openly vulnerable, right? I'm ready to share who I am no matter what stage in my life I'm in, because we're always going to be healing, right? So sometimes just take a hike. And if you don't want to go on a hike, go for a walk. If you don't want to go for a walk, go outside. If you don't want to go outside, go to the beach. Even though that's outside, but you get what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't play with me. Have a barbecue, have a cookout, have some friends over. Like, take a hike means get out, back outside, get back out in nature, ground and root yourself, in your environment, so that when we start pulling the weeds, it's not tickling you and affecting you so badly, right? Bless me, especially in love, because it's going to be quite hard for somebody to knock on your door and ask you out. Because you're like, hell no. Deliver my package and go. That was me. Present experience. So shadow work is needed. Take a hike. Sometimes it also helps to allow us to see the sun, and it clears us up even in that way as well. And let karma handle it. Don't be trying to get back at your ex. Don't be trying to get back at other people. Don't try to get back at the friend that you lost. Don't try to, just let karma handle it. Sometimes you ain't got to do that. Because right now, you're also living out your own karma. So why are you trying to live out your own karma, either good or bad, because we all know how I feel about that, while their karma is being handed to them? Stop trying to handle everything. Handle your own shit. Handle your own work. Mind the business that pays you, and you loving and caring about yourself and following deep in is always going to pay. It's always going to pay off in a way that's powerfully abundant. Okay, so let karma handle it. Take this hike to clear your head, maybe. Maybe just not to be seen at that moment in time. Just clear your head. Just go outside at night. Sit outside in your front yard or your patio, whatever. Trouble up ahead. This is where we want to be mindful. In the previous reading, before it got cut off, it said be mindful of Pinocchios. Be watchful of Pinocchios in my deck. And the Pinocchios are people that don't have their own conscious thinking or thought, right? It's like where the Gemini cricket pops into the head because he's just a puppet still. He just ain't got no strings. So it's those people who are like, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to do whatever you like to do. We're not going for that. That causes trouble up ahead, right? Because it's not a person that is authentically themselves where you are, and it causes this imbalance, and somebody's going to sink or start throwing holes into each other's ship. So that can also cause trouble up ahead, along with not being sure and positive of yourself in the previous reading. You need a practical plan for what you plan to do in your life, especially in your love life. If you're not ready, that's fucking fine. That is perfectly okay. We in the same boat. Me and you, okay? You got this side, I got this side, because I'm not ready either, right? So we want to make sure that we're also mindful with the romantic sense that if it's not a romantic love, how am I doing in my platonic relationships? How am I doing with my ancestral relationships, right? And that's also where you start making that list, because we don't want trouble up ahead, because we feel like, oh, I got this energy, which is what we're radiating, but our essence, which is from our shadow, needs work and we're not doing it. So again, that balance, trouble up ahead. Be mindful of that. Also, with all this energy going around with Leo being in Venus and Mars, and then we're starting the shadow period of Pluto, which is literally about karma. Be mindful that shit is going to be happening. And this shit's going to be happening. So be very cautiously aware of that and resounding in that, right? That there could be something. Cautious, not afraid, not scared, not stifling, because again, they want us, our light to be shining, want us to take action, they want us to take that heed. So let's do that, because at the end, we got 999. Just like the universe card, which is the world card, the ending of something, the new moon is the beginning of something, the start of something. It is a transformative ending that is happening. Either way. The previous one, they also got choices and decisions. That can only happen if something has ended and we have opened ourselves enough to see that there are alternate endings and beginnings. So 999, transformative ending, is happening in our love life. And that's powerful. So if you are currently in a relationship, take some time. It is okay to have a day for you. It is okay to have a moment for you, right? Where you just kind of dive into yourself, so that way when you do come back to a relationship, it is continuous big day energy, but now they can also drink from your essence and pour from their own. Go outside with them if you're in a relationship. Have a fun adventure. If you're single, go outside, have fun. It's just recognize, for this sense of romanticness, there is going to be a transformative ending, because when you do shadow work, you get to know yourself more. And when you know yourself more, that means that you have opened your mind and from a higher perspective, and now you're not even the same person. So if you're not the same person, won't that change your relationship dynamics quite a bit? Just a bit. Just a bit. Okay. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to gather some emotions for the weekend, and then that's where I'm going to close it out at. Because Spirit's basically saying, just put yourself out there. Shine your light. It's okay to be seen. You've done enough of the hermit work where you were literally secluded inside. It's time for you to be seen. It's time for you to be out. It's time for you to be... Because the more you're out, the more you're radiating your own light, and that's going to start opening into that. Opening into that. Right? Oh. You got spiritual. Okay, that's mental clarity, which helps, because if we have been feeling like we're suffering in silence, we can't speak up, and that was our mental, and all of these things, and we might miss opportunities. It's definitely tapping into that. The heart chakra is the balance of all. We'll get what I'm saying, we'll get what I mean. Anything else, Spirit, for the weekend, for the collective? I think that's all they got for us. Oh, as soon as I said that, I was like, no. So we have physical emotions bored. Okay, so let's go ahead and read that. We have, oftentimes we may feel bored when we are understimulated or caught up in the repetitive routines of everyday life. In these cycles, it's normal to feel a loss of connection to creativity or the sources that feed passion into life. With change on the horizon, we can gain momentum. And that's so powerful, because if we're thinking about in our life where the proverb was basically saying we don't want to miss this chance, we don't want to miss this opportunity. We also got the universe card, which is the end. We also got the wisdom card, and which is the Hierophant card, which is in a sense of like taking that, and we feel like we're doing the same thing over and over, but that is allowing us to learn that lesson and complete that cycle for the transformative ending, including in our relationships and our love life. That is very powerful. So sometimes we confuse understimulation, and that turns into boredness, versus allowing what is happening with the cycles and the changes and the happening to transmute that into peace, into calm. So bored in the physical body can be, it's like idle hands are the devil's playground, right? It's just you're going to start doing shit to do shit, saying shit to say shit, or you're going to continue to quiet yourself, continue to recluse because you're bored, and you're confusing that for other things sometimes as well, just because you're understimulated, which is why you want to take that hike, which is why you want to go outside, which is why you want to be able to celebrate and have that abundance and just have that joy, because this is the end, which is why you want that heart chakra to come in. And I love this, I love to do that, I love to explore, I love to do. It allows you to recognize those things, is that, okay, I'm understimulated, but what do I love to do and what can I pull on to tap into that? We have, for the crystals, we have orange chalcite, fluorite, quartz, and fluorite. Okay? Wrap this up too. For mental clarity, we have spiritual, which is being spiritual implies that there is something greater to life beyond what is witnessed at the surface. It is an interconnection to all parts of the whole, with an acute awareness of intuition and cultivating the ability to trust our instincts. Spiritual experiences rarely fit the conventional boxes society teaches, and thereby move us into an experiential understanding of the world. Right? And spiritually, we were overcoming obstacles, right? And challenges. We were going through obstacles and challenges. With mental clarity, which is what we were going through spiritually, mentally we were going through suffering and silence, and spiritually we were overcoming obstacles. With this balance, it's basically saying you don't need to do shit that other people do. How you communicate, how you set up your altar, how you dive into your spiritual aspects of things in your life is going to be completely different than what somebody else does. And that is what's also going to stimulate you and not allow you to be bored, because now it's catered to you and what you love and how you feel in your life. And that pulls into fate, your destiny, the world, the accumulation of things of that sort. And that allows you to truly be in love with yourself and power. So we have amethyst. That's crazy. I'm smoking out of it too. We have turquoise. We have Lemurian seed crystal and green apatite. So those are the emotions to kind of look out for or look forward to for the weekend, especially with the new moon and shadow period and all the good things happening for the good people. Okay, so that has been the reading for the weekend, as well as for the new moon in Gemini. It's kind of like a twofer, so I love it. Do that homework, write down that list, and start prioritizing that, and don't forget yourself in the list. I love you guys, and I hope you love yourselves more. Okay, take care.